Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Steve Murray with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. We still have a lot of people in the process of joining, which is just fine. We'll go ahead and get started here. As I mentioned, my name is Steve Murray, president here, Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Our co-presenter today, really our main presenter, is Dave Pimper. Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching. He has coached with us for a number of years, probably in excess of 13 or so years now, and most recently have been coaching on radio, Social Security seminars, and today Social Security claiming. Always been a popular event for us. A lot of folks have interest in Social Security claiming for good reason. It's a great way to meet new people and to be of service to your current clients. So we're going to talk about that in detail here today. As we get started, a couple things I want to mention to you. See a couple of polls pop up here and there. Answer the polls yes or no as quickly as possible. That allows us to keep moving on. If you have any questions, just type them in and hit send, and we'll get them asked and answered quickly. Just so you know, Dave will have a test for us here today, so get ready for that. But it'll be very valuable information that we're going to gain. As we get started here, I wanted to mention a couple of things. I know we've got a lot of folks with us that have not been regulars with us here at IMES. For those of you that are just joining us, I want to make sure you're aware of our new producer builders. You can see the opportunities there in front of you. What I will say is that in your first 6 months of being appointed with us, business that you do counts towards new producer builders opportunities, and what you see before you are available to you. But if you have something that you like to try, or maybe you're already using it and you know it's been effective to help you grow your business, we'd be glad to donate towards that as well. So that would be a simple call to myself or anyone here on the any of the sales directors on the life or the annuity side. A couple other business builders that you do need to be aware of. RPM, we built our business like you. A lot of it has been based on our referrals that we've received over the years. And if you are kind enough to refer us to someone, we will put some cash in your hand if they get appointed with us, and then you'll receive ongoing checks to our RPM program based on business that they do. Nothing comes out of their pocket, but money does go into your pocket that you can use for anything that you want. And you can see how that can build over time. So if you refer somebody and they do some business with us, then you're going to receive a bonus based on that business, and that is ongoing for as long as they're appointed with us. Additionally, we have a nice marketing reimbursement program, and the way that works again is quite simple. You do business with us, we put money into your marketing reimbursement account. That money can be used for anything that you do marketing wise to grow your business. Got great back office support. So if you have not yet looked at IMES or done business with us, you have not yet felt the value of that back office support. It's not a lot that I can say other than we do have a lot of folks that would say that we are the best in the industry. Even some of our competitors would agree that's our strong suit. We are going to support you from all the way through the process of getting the right proposal, getting the business in the system, getting that business out of the system, getting your commissions paid. We call it submission to commission. And if you haven't noticed it yet, you will. And once you notice it, I think you'll see the value of it to your business. One of the things that we do is we put a single sign-on for Firelight. Firelight is the most common e-app platform for the insurance business, and certainly on the annuity side. So what that means from our standpoint and your standpoint is you can go on to our website and access most of the carriers that you might do business with us on the annuity side. What that means, you don't have to go from carrier or website to website, get from carrier to carrier. You can do it all on one website. It also means that if you're doing two applications on one client with different carriers, you can do that easily. There's a nice cut and paste feature with Firelight, so you can transfer information from one application to the other pretty seamlessly. So it really saves you a lot of time. If for some reason you have to resubmit, it's nice to have that already done for you and set up on Firelight. Then it's just a matter of sending it off to your client for an e-signature. If for some reason you have to do that, so a lot of handiness there. If we can help you with that, getting set up on Firelight on our website, it takes about 3 minutes to register. Just call your sales director and ask them to walk you through that. Think of our creative team as your advertising team. They work with people just like you all day long. They've got a lot of pre-done and pre-set up forms and things that they can set up for you. If you need simple things like a logo or business cards or letterhead, they can help with that. If you want to get more complicated, get your own website set up. Most of the work that they do is going to be at cost. Certainly, there's a lot that gets done pro bono. Remember that their goal is to grow your business, so they're going to do it. They're not in the business to make money on the advertising part of it. Their business to help grow what you do, to get your image built, and to have you be more effective and more notable to your clientele. And we're going to do everything we can to help you with that. A lot of guys will use it with marketing reimbursement for things that have a cost, which is great. We're glad to help you in any way that we can. The first step there is to call your sales director and say, hey, what can the creative team do for me? What have they done for some of your other top producers? That would be a great call to make. I've got a great website. More and more indispensable as regulation increases and everything that you need to be, an application used to be 5 pages. Now it's 80 pages. Suitability used to be quite simple, and now it's quite complicated. We have a lot of sales tools that you can use on our website, little things that you can use in our sales resource library under support, that you would just be amazed at all the tools that are out there. So I would encourage you, take a look at our website again. A good call would be to your sales director and say, hey, walk me through the website. This is what I do. What tools can I use that are available on your website? Retirement Analyzer is a nice little tool that if you don't use something like it, I think you'll be intrigued by what it can do and the difference it'll make when your discussions with your clients. So, way it works is you put information in the system, and then you get a nice report out that you can give to your client. You can see some of the questions that you can answer there for your client using the Retirement Analyzer. Right now, we're going to make that available at our expense. We take care of that for our folks that do business with us, even folks that are brand new to us, which would be many of the folks out with us here today. We'll give you availability on that particular program for 30, 60, 90 days, even if you're not doing business at our expense. For producers of IAMS, we'll make that access indefinite. So let us know how we can help you. Give Marcus a call, give David a call here in the office, and they'll be the two main contacts for the Retirement Analyzer. They'll be glad to walk you through getting set up, which is easy, and then give you a few pointers on what you might want to do as you're doing your first case or two. I would recommend that you pick out an A client or do one on yourself and just see how it works. So give us a call and let us know how we can help you with the Retirement Analyzer. If you have not looked at yet getting your Series 65 and you need some assistance with that, IAMS Wealth Management can help. That is our uh, Series 65 outlet for you, our wealth management firm, our RIA, if you will. And as time has gone on over the past 3-4 years, we've seen many of our producers want to add that to their the offerings that they have to their client. We'd be glad to help you with that. You can see some of the things that having the Series 65 can do for your business right there before you on the screen. I'm going to put up a quick poll, and while I do that, if I can find it, I'm going to tell you some of the reasons that you might want to consider IAMS Wealth over some other series or some other RIAs. So we'll launch that. So if you are thinking about getting your RIA or Series 65, we can help with that. We've done that with many of our producers. Most of our top producers are now with IAMS Wealth, and we've helped them get that Series 65 license. You can set it up on a 30-day, 60-day schedule, whatever you will. Then we'll kind of help you through the process, getting your testing materials out to you and helping you set up a course of study that will make that possible. If you already have your Series 65 and maybe you're not happy with your current wealth management firm, maybe the service isn't what you expected, maybe the fees are higher than you expected, or the payouts are lower than you expected, IAMS Wealth can help you with that. We've got a great fee structure that all of our guys tell me is really quite efficient and quite valuable for what you pay. Also, our payouts, we do a payout that's just a little over 1%. That 1% is higher than most, and it does not run through a grid. So you're not looking at 90 or 80% of 1%. That whole 1% flows to you as the advisor. So those are some good reasons you might want to consider IAMS Wealth. If you're not happy with your service, we are used to dealing in a really high service environment here at IAMS, and IAMS Wealth is no different. We want to make sure that we are helping our folks each step of the way, making sure that they are well set for their appointments with their clients, and making sure that you have all the information you need, and making sure that you have somebody kind of coaching you through that. So we've really set that up for success with our advisors. So if you have interest in that, simply put yes on that poll. What that will result in is about a 5 to 7 minute conversation with one of the folks over at IAMS Wealth, whether it's Sarah, Charles, Duncan, um, Zach might be the person you talk to. All these folks are really good at helping folks decide whether maybe IAMS Wealth might be a fit for them. If after that 5-minute conversation, it looks like it could be, that, of course, would result in a longer conversation. But if you want to have that 5-minute conversation, simply hit yes. As we draw closer to the DOL and the enactment of their requirements and the increasing stringency of the DOL requirements, I think you're going to have to look for either having the opportunity to refer to someone or having that for yourself. If, by the way, you're looking for someone you want to refer a clientele to and maybe potentially earn, depending on the state that you live in, a small ongoing fee for doing that, then hit yes on that poll as well. And that will have a nice, you can have a nice conversation with one of the folks on the IAMS Wealth team about that as well. I'm going to close that poll out. Thank you all for taking a quick minute to vote so quickly. We definitely appreciate that. And we'll close that poll out. I want to get moving right along here because I really want to tell you next about our Top Producers Summit. That is going to be our I think our most sought after Top Producer Summit ever. We've got an 18-month qualification. We still have about 13 months to qualify. If you haven't taken advantage of one of our Top Producer Summits, you'll know that they're a great place for you and your guests to relax and enjoy. Take some time to see some great areas. Here we're going to start in the city of Rome. We're going to cruise down the Italian peninsula and back up through Greece and Montenegro, Croatia, and then we're going to end up back in Italy at the beautiful city of Venice. So you've got through the end of next June to qualify. We're going to go in late August, early September of 2022, and of course that includes you and your guests. We're all going to enjoy balcony suites. We'll be on the concierge level, so really a nice level of luxury for you and your guests to enjoy some really beautiful scenery as you're cruising up and down the coast of Italy and Greece. So looking forward to having you there. Plenty of time to qualify. Can't wait to have you join us there. Follow us or like us. There's some things that you can only get on Facebook and LinkedIn by joining us. And so I would encourage you to, if you haven't already, to tap into our Facebook or our LinkedIn page and count on joining us there. So I know there are going to be some questions. I've seen a couple, and I'm going to respond to those as quickly as I can as we go along here. But as we're doing that, I want to make a couple of things, make a couple of notes of introduction about Dave Pimper. Dave is the president of Lazarus Coaching, been in the business since the early 80s, does both securities and insurance products. He's licensed Series 7, Series 65. He's a Office of jurisdiction on the security side. He's got a Series 24. He's been a coach with us for about 13 years. Met Dave on a cruise. Actually, we were doing an Alaskan cruise at that point. He's out on the deck having a cigar on the back of the boat, and we got to chatting, thanking him for his production. He told me a little bit about his business, and from there, we got to talking a little bit about coaching and his coaching prowess and what he done for other producers. And about since that time, he's coached almost exclusively for IAMS. So everything from seminar coaching to practice coaching, Social Security coaching. And today we're going to talk about Social Security claiming, how you can grow your business via Social Security claiming using seminars, radio, and just helping your clients in that regard. So looking forward to having a great meeting here with Dave. I want to make sure he's aboard. It looks like he is. Are you up and at him this morning, Dave?
Absolutely. Happy post holiday to you, Steve.
Well, thank you. I hope you had a nice holiday in remembrance of all the
Yes.
people that have given up their lives for our great country. We had a nice time. It's nice to be able to sit back and appreciate all that people have done before us to make our country what it is today. So thank you for joining us, Dave. I've given you a nice introduction, and I'm going to hand you over controls here in a moment. As I've done that, you might want to talk to folks about your radio and seminar experience and a little bit about Social Security claiming as well.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, thanks a lot. You're probably dragging a little bit coming back from the holiday, but hopefully everybody had a great holiday and a memorable one. My name is Dave Pimper, and I'm a producer, just like everybody that most likely on this phone call webinar with us today. Been in the business since 1981, so 40 years. Seems like a long time. July the 9th It'll be 40 years from when I started in the business. Seen a lot in that time period, but one of the things that has probably brought more attention to my business as far as production is concerned is Social Security claiming. Just understanding Social Security claiming. Only 1 in 10 advisors, and I'm talking about CPAs, lawyers, bankers, anything to do around financial investment, UBS, Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones. Very few people that are advisors really understand Social Security. I do a lot of marketing. I enjoy marketing. We do 3 types of lead generation marketing. One is with seminar marketing, and I do most of it around the Social Security. We also have a retirement seminar, 8 mistakes people make with their retirees make with their money. But but the mainstay on my marketing is Social Security seminars. We just came off of our first face-to-face from in the last 13 months. We had some virtual ones with limited success, but we got 10 appointments, and I got 2 really good first appointments that went on to seconds, and I still got 7 appointments left. I see today I got 2, tomorrow I got 2. So it's face-to-face seminars, Retirement Boss Radio, which is being a radio host for your own show. It's called Retirement Boss Radio. Take charge of your money. It's a trademark name. We market this, of course, through IAMS, and it is exclusive to IAMS, which is really, really nice. And we've had some very, very good success. I have, with radio marketing, and then we do lead generation marketing also with the mail-in postcards. So we do a lot of that through the Medicare side. So I really enjoy marketing, getting in front of people. Remember, this is more of a contact sport than football. And if you're a Nebraska fan like I, that may not be saying much, but it is a contact sport, no doubt about it. And we have to be in front of people. We've got to be talking to people each and every day if we're expecting for our production to go up. If you've got questions today, certainly type them on in. Be more than happy to answer those for you. We're going to be done in about a half an hour. So, Steve, I don't know if you're still with us, but for right now,
I am.
Yeah, we're going to be done at about quarter till. We're going to be done. Just let you know that. So about half an hour. But I'm going to run through this. And remember, when I'm coaching you one-on-one, we go much more in depth. But there's 3 basic ways that you can go in and learn Social Security claiming. 3 basic ways, and I'll go over this again. But through us, I'm the coach. So I'm going to coach you. I'm not a mentor. A mentor is like saying, hey, hang around with one of the professional golfers, and and then watch what he does and do what I do, and then hey, you're going to be as good as me. No, but coaching, having that person coach you, you're never going to be as good as them, but you certainly become a lot better than what you are now. That's what a coach does. But we through Retirement Boss Radio, we give free Social Security claiming. IAMS pays for that through Social Security seminars. They also pay for that as part of the program. And then you can just one-on-one coach for 4 sessions for $800 without any marketing. But learning Social Security, I just can't impress upon you enough of just how important that is. So let's do this. Let's go in and let's start going through here. I have in here Social Security maximization, why the advisor should really understand Social Security claiming. So this comes from Sarah O'Brien with CNBC. It headlines, most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security. And then 2, a majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor, a recent study said. Is that wild? Yeah. This is a test. So we're going to take a test. It's a 5-question test. Pretty simple. I mean, it's not an easy test, but it's not going to take a long time. But let's see how you do. Let's see what your knowledge is with Social Security claiming. It says a Social Security test only 1 in 300 seniors could ace. I took it. I aced it. One tricky question. But here's the 5 questions, okay? Let's go to the very first one. To maximize your monthly Social Security check. To maximize your monthly Social Security check, at what age must you claim benefits. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? You know the answer to that? Here we go. Write down your answer. Not full retirement age. It's age 70. The correct answer is age 70. Second question. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? It's age 60. Okay? 2 down, 3 to go. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Answer is yes or no. Here we go. Got to. Yep. They have to claim to get half their benefit. 4. Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Can divorced spouses receive benefits? Yep, they can if 4 stipulations are met. So if you guess 2 of the 4 stipulations, we're going to get this answer right. You got to mark yes, and then guess 2 of those 4. Ready? First of all, marriage had to last at least 10 years. Secondly, unmarried. Not the ex, but you are unmarried. Third, ex has to be at least 62, and the fourth, divorce was at least 2 years ago or longer. If those 4 are met, you can claim your spouse as if you were married to them when it comes to Social Security claiming. If you said yes, I got 2 of those right, I'm going to give that answer to you. Question: are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Yes or no? Yep. If those 4 stipulations are met. Okay. Again, guess I'm going to give you that. Yeah. So if you got 1, 2, or 3 right, you probably need some help. If you got 4 or 5 and you actually knew the answers of those and understood them, yeah, good for you. But most advisors, only 1 in 10 really have a true understanding of Social Security claiming. So it says doing this one thing with your Social Security can mean losing $100,000 in retirement. By Janet Herron out of the USA Today about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. How much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? It says retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? They took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Over $111,000 in a lifetime. Only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. I mean, it means 96 did not. Yeah, it was started in 1935. 65 was the first age. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the president through the Social Security Act. First check was in 1941. 65 was the only age. And way back when, in 35, average longevity was only about 62 for now. In 1950, there's 15 people working for every one retired. Now there's 3 people working for every one retired, just under that. Automatic cost of living allowance started in 75, was 1.3% this year. There was no taxation until 83 with Ronald Reagan. Up to 50% of your benefits could be taxed. And then Bill Clinton in 93 said up to 85% of your benefits could be taxed. Not a lot of change in Social Security besides COLAs each year and new FRAs, full retirement age. 215 was the last big change. A couple things they did is they phased out in 6 months file and suspend for spousal coordinating benefits, and they're phasing out restricted application of other spousal coordinating benefit be done in the year 2024, January the 2nd. Last big changes is Social Security. Is Social Security important? You darn right it is. It's for most people, it's the major source of income. It's a big deal. Here's Social Security 101. If you have full retirement age of somewhere between 66 and 67, if you take as early as 62, it's reduced. If you wait longer, you can wait as long as 70, it's increased. Well, earliest you can take it is 62, latest you can take it is 70. In those 8 years, You can let it grow or you can take it. Most people take early. They probably shouldn't. Some certainly could, but they probably shouldn't. Can Social Security have a huge value? Yeah, if you claim it your right time, not the right time, but a right time. Actually, in 2019, which is the last trustees report, there was a net increase of $6 billion off of a little less than $1 trillion of revenue. Now, the trust fund is going to start depleting. May have done it last year. We'll find out here soon, within the next month. They'll come out with a Social Security um, trustees report. But these are going to be higher taxes or extended time periods for full retirement age. Or age 70 might go to 72 or 73. Is it a pay-as-you-go system? Yes, it is, because you pay what payroll taxes. The 6.2% you pay, the 6.2% your employer matches. Do we borrow against? The government buys special issue treasury bonds. Does the government basically borrow against those? Cash them in? Yeah, we have IOUs there. Doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's the same backing as the dollar bill. Yeah, it's not a Ponzi scheme. There's never been a payment missed. How do you get a benefit? You need 40 credits or quarters of coverage. It's $1,470. If you make $1,470, you get one quarterly credit. You can make up to 4 a year. That's $5,880. That changes with inflation. But if you make $5,880 or more, you just made yourself 4 quarters. You need 40 quarters to get a benefit. What's so important about this too, you need 40 quarters to get Medicare, part of that paid for it, being able to apply for it at a much discounted rate or no rate, no cost, except for Part B. Yeah. But they take your earnings over your working career. They take your 35 highest inflation adjusted years, and then they figure out, it's called AIME, AIME, AIME. And that's your indexed amount of how much you'll get. The more you make, the more you get. FRA is full retirement age. Don't you love that, dog? If you're born from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66. Okay? I was born at 55. Puts me at 66 years old. I'm 66 years and 2 months is my full retirement age. Then it stair steps 4, 6, 8, 10 months. And born 1960 or later, the full retirement age is 67. A newborn born today, full retirement age, 67. Okay? Any questions? Type them on in, please. If you take early, it's reduced. Look, if your full retirement age is 66 or 67, if you take a 62, your full retirement benefit, let's say it's 1,000, it's going to be reduced 25 to 30% if you take it age 62, which is about 40% of all people take it age 62. How about if you wait longer? My wife took it 62. We can make the most money by doing that. I'm waiting to 70. So my benefit's going to be guaranteed to grow 32% from 66 to 70. Actually, it's a touch less because my full retirement age is 66 too, but it's still going to grow nearly 32%. You put cost of living on there, it's well over 40%. And if we get higher cost of living, it might grow 50%. 50% in 4 years. Guaranteed by the U.S. government, 40 to 50%. What a deal. So I'm a big believer that if you know the individual benefit, which we just went over, and you really understand the spousal benefit and the divorced spouse, surviving spouse, and a coordinating spousal benefit called restricted application, that's about 80-85% of all of the questions that you're going to get. You can answer. And you can become an expert. And we do the coaching for that. Can you do it on your own like I did? Sure you can. It's a struggle. I mean, it's 2,700 complicated rules. Do I know them all? Nope. Do I know virtually all the important ones? Yep, I do. So let's talk about spousal benefits. And when I'm actually coaching, we go through this much slower. We role play. I quiz you. There's books to read. I mean, there's some work put into really learning Social Security, but I can help coordinate all that for you. So Dave's PIA, primary insurance amount, is what PIA stands for. That's the amount at full retirement age. FRA, the acronym of full retirement age, that is the age that you get the full amount. The PIA is the amount that you actually get at FRA, full retirement age. How about them spinning platters? Dave's PIA at full retirement age is 2,400. Amy's is 1,000. Dave takes his. Amy takes hers. Dave gets 2,400. Amy has the option. She could take all of her 1,000 or half of Dave's 2,400, whichever is higher. What's higher here? 2,400, higher than 1,000. And that's done automatically for you by Social Security Administration. Let's go back though real quick. What happens if Dave doesn't take? Amy has 1,000. Dave's is 24. Amy takes, say at full retirement age, so there's no discounting. Dave wants to let his grow to 70. How much does she get? 1,000. Remember, that's one of our questions. She can't get half of his until he takes. When does he have to start taking, or he loses the benefit? Age 70. So he takes at 70. She doesn't get half of the delayed retirement credits of the 8%. She does get half, though, of his. So again, that 1,200. Now there's a $200 top up, but she wouldn't get it till age 70 if that's what he takes. How about divorce spouse benefit? Lasted 10 years or more. Remember those four things? Spouse that is receiving the benefit is unmarried. The ex is at least 62, and the divorce was at least 2 years or longer. If that's the case, you can take your spouse just as if you were married to him. Why is that important? It's important because married couples have many times more options than singles. Pretty cool. Yep. Have to ask for it. Isn't done automatically. You have to ask for it. How about survivor benefit? My wife always says no one gets out of here alive, and that's true. Not physically. Spiritually, we may, but not physically. Say Dave and Amy are both full retirement age, so they're both, say, 66 or over, born 1954 or before. Dave's benefit is $2,000. Amy's benefit is $1,200. Who dies first? 75% of the time, the guy does. So all of a sudden, he dies. Amy has the option. She can keep her $1,200 benefit, or she can drop hers and jump up to his. Has to be requested. Doesn't happen automatically. And the cool thing is, there's some neat file and suspending that you can do still, not with individual benefits, but it's still available to survivors' benefits, widows' benefits. Let's say that she wants to go in and take her. She can take it as early as 60 at a 28.5% discount, but she could let that widow's benefit grow. Or you can take the widow's benefit early, anytime, and then she could let hers grow and not get discounted at all. So it's pretty darn cool what you can do with survivors' benefits, but it has to be asked for. Now, coordinating spousal benefits. Remember I told you file and suspend, which is a giver of the spousal benefit, was taken away, phased out after 6 months back in 2015. Restricted application is the twin sister of that. Here you're a taker. You're a taker, not a giver, but a taker of the spousal benefits. But here's the deal. You got to be born, not both people, but the person taking the benefit has to be born before January the 2nd of 1954. Now, I'll tell you, this next slide is going to make your head spin. Makes my head spin. No image, all writing. But listen how cool this is. Remember, Dave has to be born January the 2nd, before January the 2nd of 1954. So he has to be basically 67 and a half years old right now. And he could do this. So what happens is Dave's primary insurance amount is $2,400 and Amy's primary insurance is $1,000. Amy's going to take her benefit, which she has to make this work. Dave wants to let his benefit grow later than full retirement age, say to 70. So normally Amy would get $1,000. Dave would let that grow, and maybe turn on at $3,200 down the road 4 years. But he files a restricted application. Now he starts his, but stops his. But in the eyes of Social Security, he started it. Now he's going to let his grow and get the 8% under this loophole, but he reaches out and takes half of Amy's benefit as a spousal benefit. So his is still growing. Amy's taking hers, but now they're getting 500 extra bucks. I just found $27,000 in the next 4 years for someone who has now restricted application. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that's free money. 6,000 a year, 12,000 in 2 years. Pretty neat thing called restricted application. What can Social Security personnel do? Well, they can give your highest benefit that you're entitled to right now. You know what they can't do? Just what we're talking about. They can't talk about restricted application or scenario planning. They can't give you advice on what to do. Believe it or not, this comes right from the program's operational manual system by Social Security. Provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Interesting. So I always say consider all your income streams before you claim Social Security. You know, Social Security is not a standalone income stream. I call it the five pegs or legs to retirement income. Social Security is the most flexible. You can turn on when you want to, claiming at your right time, not the right time. And I always tell people when you start figuring break evens, always don't forget about the survivor benefit. That's a big deal. Let it grow. Okay. So here's on the five pillars of income where I look at them as wages, full and part time, pensions if you're lucky enough to have one, income producing assets, RMDs on traditional accounts at 72, and Social Security. Social Security. It's the most flexible, and it's one of the biggest sources of income, of when to start it. That's what's important. I tell you, as advisors, we need to help our people. That if you're working with the pre-retired or just retired crowd, you need to know this information, and you can get that from us. Okay. So when to claim? My gosh, there's just a lot of decisions. There's a lot of different benefits. There's an individual benefit, a spousal benefit, coordinating spousal benefit like restricted application, survivors. You know what? My first or second. My first one I think was at the library. My second one was at Midland University. Now it used to be Midland Lutheran College. This was back 11 years ago, and I had a lady that came in to me. I remember I was 55. She was like 73, and she comes in this appointment. She says, "Mr. Pimper," she says, "you said something during the seminar that really concerned me." I said, "Well, what's that?" She said, "Well, you said that if you're married and your spouse dies and that spouse has a higher benefit than you do, that you could drop your benefit and jump up to his." And I said, "That's exactly right." She goes, like a school marm. She says, "Well, I was told you couldn't do that." And I said, "Well, who told you that?" She said, "My brother." So, uh, so here's what her brother cost her. She listened to her brother. Her benefit was 1,300. I'm rounding this off this close. 1,300 bucks a month. Her husband's was 1,800 bucks a month. There's $500 difference between the two. He dies. She never jumps up to his benefit. She just keeps his, or just keeps hers. That's 500 bucks a month times 12, 6,000 a year times the 5 years since he died. That's 30 grand she lost out on because, yeah, she listened to her brother. How'd you like to be at that Thanksgiving dinner, sitting across the table? And I say to the seminars always, that's why you shouldn't listen to your brother, your sister, your mother, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your boss, your pastor, your rabbi, your priest. No, go to someone like myself, like Dave Pimper. Go to someone like me because this is how I make my living day in and day out is by giving very good retirement advice, and particularly on Social Security. I tell you, when they come in, I mean, I just talked to a guy at 2.8 million in investable assets. I was not able to work with it, okay, because he already had an advisor. But if you swing the bat at enough prospects like that, you get some really good business that comes on in. I cannot tell you how much Social Security, the understanding of Social Security, has helped my business, and it certainly could help your business too if you're in that just retired or pre-retired. That's who you're working with. Okay. So as we're finishing up here, I want to go through this again, and then we'll answer any questions. Yeah, there's three ways. And I say to master. The more you do something, the better you get at it. But seminar marketing. Yeah, I mean, I coach you up on 3 Social Security seminars through a 42 slide PowerPoint. And it's me doing the coaching. It's not one of our associates. And there's some study. There's a book to read, and there's some different things. But that that coaching is paid for by Insurance Agency Marketing Services, the FMO. Retirement Boss Radio. Be your own radio show host for an hour. About 35% of all the business I do is related around Social Security, giving them information on Social Security. Yep. And I coach you up there also. IAMS is paying me to coach you, so there's no cost on your end. Or you can just say, heck, I don't want to market. I think it's a mistake, but I don't want to market. I just want to learn Social Security. Yeah, for 4 sessions, $200 per session, which is $800, and you get all the backup material. Each one of those, you're able to use me, not just during the coaching, but afterwards for any kind of questions that you have, and I can certainly get you the answer. If I wouldn't know the answer, which I don't have very often, then I just go up in the POMS manual, Program Operational Manual System, and I get that answer. Okay? Now, there's a saying, and Steve, are you there? He may not be back yet. Steve, but he'll be back here just shortly, okay? And I'll be answering some questions, but we're going to put up a slide. There he is. Okay, Steve, we're going to be putting up a slide here that yes, I'd like to talk to Dave on the phone about Social Security, how it can help your business, or no. And just mark yes or no, whatever is comfortable for you. But I will say this, that procrastination slide, it says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes. Don't let it happen to you. I've never had anybody come to me and say, Dave, you cannot believe how much money I made from procrastinating. It just doesn't happen. If you saw something today and said, you know what, I need to learn Social Security. I mean, think about it. You can a la carte it, which I would rather have you get in front of prospects, but you can a la carte it for $80. I mean, what's that, a $12,000 fixed indexed annuity sale that could help you with from here in, for the next years? I mean, knowing Social Security gives you a lot of strength in your practice, and we would love to go in and be able to help you do that. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on over as you're figuring out. Hopefully, you're marking yes, and we're going to keep this open here for a few minutes. But Steve, I'm going to turn it over to you. But I'm certain that there's probably a few questions that people want answered.
There are, and when I started, I talked a little bit about seminars and radio, and so we've got a couple questions there. We've got a couple specific questions on Social Security claiming, and what I would suggest folks do on those real specific questions is hit yes on that poll, and just Dave will give you a call. You can set up a few minutes, and Dave will be glad to answer that question or answer any questions you might have about what we've talked about today. Dave, the questions about radio and seminars are mostly regarding costs and things like that. So I mentioned that we're going to talk about Social Security claiming at the outset, and then I know you mentioned 2 or 3 ways you can learn about Social Security claiming, and both radio and seminars came up during those conversations. Can you take just a minute and talk about what your accomplishments are on the seminar side first? Can you do that, and then talk a little bit about the costs?
Yeah, well, remember, I've only known security claiming, for the last 11 years. So by 40 years, 11 of those years, I've known Social Security. I've done 540 workshops. 2 weeks ago, I did my 539th and 40th. That's a lot of public workshops. 5 or 6 of those were viral. The rest of them were face-to-face, and this last one was face-to-face also. So what I did is I've done of workshops. Think of not quite 100 Social Security workshops, not counting the hundreds of webinars and face-to-face that we've done different things. But I'll tell you, Social Security, the reason Social Security is pretty cool, just very few people really understand it. I think what happens is that most advisors think, gosh, why would I learn Social Security? But seminar marketing, like this last seminar, I mean face to face, and you know how the mask law in most states now are really easing on up. What happens is that I mean I had 10 appointments, Steve, from that seminar, and I was
Yes.
extremely happy with that. So what happened? That was in Fremont, a town of 26,000. So what happens is that when you start going into Omaha with a town of almost a million people, or you've got more population, of course it goes way up. So seminar marketing, yeah, we charge. We do our own marketing, Steve, as you know, with IAMS. It's 25. We have a third party Facebook vendor. We have $2,500 that covers for 2 nights, and you hope you get. We'd like to get uh, 25 people over a 2 night time period. That'll get us 10 or more appointments. And $2,500 in today's day and age to hopefully get 10, 12, 15 appointments. I mean, that's
A
that's
bargain.
that's pretty inexpensive. And with that, because you pay me, but I coach. If you want to do uh, a Social Security seminar, yeah, I coach you up on that. So I'm going to coach you up 3 coaching sessions. There's no cost to you. You can thank IAMS, the FMO, for subsidizing that, but they just know how important it is to really understand Social Security. So that's if you want to talk about the seminar end of it. That's kind of it in a nutshell.
Good, good. Well, that's a couple things to mention there because it brought up another question from Thornton. So Thornton, are we doing right now, Dave? We haven't planned a virtual workshop in probably the last 2 months. I don't foresee us doing that now going forward with everything opening back up. So we're really looking pretty exclusively at face-to-face at this point, would you say, or would we still help somebody plan a virtual one?
Nope, we're all done. No more virtual. I tell you what, as you know, we tested. I actually had 2 sales out of my 5 virtual workshops, and that's not very good. But yeah,
No.
I did pay for it just because of that one bigger sale that I had. But virtual, I'm just telling you, people, when you're in your late 50s, early 60s, mid 60s, most people they're doing business still face to face. They might buy from Amazon for $50. But when they're investing hundreds of thousands, they're not doing it by phone or by Zoom. So no, we're
Mhm.
doing all face-to-face workshops now, and I can tell you right now, not just Nebraska, but I mean, I know in New York, I know in California, everything's opening on up, and within the next couple of months, you're going to see us getting back to near normal. I think like this fall, Steve, you and I are both big Nebraska football fans. I think we're going to see. Don't you think we'll probably see full capacity at the college games
Absolutely.
in
Yeah, I think
fall?
you'll see the full stadiums. I think everybody, and of course, our age group that we're primarily looking at there, that 55, 60 and older, are the first vaccinators and probably
That's
feel the
right.
most comfortable getting out and about
Yep.
right now. So I agree. I
Right.
think we should probably just stop the virtual altogether. Not they didn't work, but I think the face-to-face works so much better. It's so much less expensive, and it's so much, the return on investments is just so much better. So if you have interest in that, Thornton, certainly give us a call, or anyone on the line today. If you want more information, just put yes on that poll and we'll get it out to you. So the second question on seminars actually came from Thomas. So I think it's confusing a little bit because we talk about getting us, we'll do a seminar and get hopefully 25 people in the room for 2,500, and they'll get the seminar itself, and they'll get coaching from you, and then they'll get also uh, everything that they need as far as before and after for seminars, all for that $2,500. That is correct. I know it is quite a bargain, but if you're thinking about getting the Social Security seminar business, there's probably not a better place to get that information and get in the seminar business than right here at IAMS with Dave Pimper. We subsidize that, of course, but it's beneficial for us to help you get in production. And we haven't had a better seminar system than Social Security seminars that we continue to offer others, but as far as consistent success and results over time, Social Security seminars have definitely have taken the cake there. So now we'll go back for a second and readdress radio. And Dave, you've been doing radio or have had radio experience for what, 20, 25 years now?
I would say 30 of my 40 years. Yeah.
30
Mhm.
or 40. And when you look at your results from radio here just recently, I know you touched on it just a bit, but why don't you talk about your success on radio and how Social Security claiming kind of dovetails with that?
You bet. So radio advertising, like a minute ad, 30-second ad, I, I've not had, I haven't really had any success doing that. I've tried a lot of that through the years, but having a show for like 45 minutes or half an hour, or now we do an hour show, having a co-host and talking about financial kind of strategies, not specifically say fixed index or specifically mutual funds, but just strategies like Roth conversions or in-service non-hardship withdrawal plans, or talking about budgeting, or talking about income planning, but those broad, talking about, you know, in a broad sense, talking about Social Security or talking about Medicare, all those broad subjects of pre-retired or just retired, we've had very, excuse me, very, very good success as far as people calling in, and then we have a track, and it's an appointment call in appointment setting firm call center that does nothing but sets those appointments off of an electronic calendar that we get them every Friday. So this Retirement Boss Radio, most people don't consider radio because of what the expense is. But I'll tell you right now, most of the time, it might be. I've seen it where it isn't any more expensive. Most seminars, even though ours is only 2,500, most seminar systems, as you know, Steve, normally cost $3,500 to $4,000. Okay,
Absolutely.
easy.
Mhm.
We've seen a
And
much
still a
more than
bargain.
that. Yeah, that's still. Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, radio in most 100,000 population or larger, because that's how much you really need. It's tough to do it in a small town. What happens is that you're talking about the same cost as what the seminar is. 3,500, $4,000 on an average. And when you're on the show for an hour and they're calling on in and you open up the phone lines and you have an 800 number, I will tell you what, it has been very, very successful for us and other advisors also. So if you had interest there, yeah, just absolutely mark yes on that. And with that, we coach Social Security. You pay for it, Steve, and I appreciate that, and I know that the client does too. But what happens is that about 30, 35, maybe even 40% of all of the appointments we have are geared around Social Security claiming, which again, a percentage of those lead on to appointments about when you're uncovering monies to invest. So I'll say this right now: those two marketing sources. If you're not marketing right now, coming out of the pandemic, you need to be. You absolutely need to be. Just please mark yes. Dave Corwin will. Well, if you mark yes, Dave, take Dave Corwin's call, because he will call you here. He's very efficient. He will call you today, most likely, and get us on the line, and we'll set up an appointment and just see if we can help you with Social Security claiming, and hopefully get in front of more people with some real directed marketing too.
So a little misunderstanding. Dave said seminars is about 12,000 a month. I think he thinks it's 3 or
No,
4,000 per half hour. That pricing, and of course, it's a little bit of an estimate because we don't know
yeah,
about it in your area. But that's a monthly cost. You're on the radio for usually about an hour each week,
yeah.
and that's 4 or 5 times a month. And that price is usually going to be between 3,000, 4,000 per month all in. So it's actually a
All
bargain.
yeah, and I'll say this: when you say and what Steve means is that's the radio airtime, which we negotiate for you at at the local station. Also, that includes all of the production, which is the co-host is included, show notes are included, editing, mixing, getting that hour show, all the advertisements. You also get about 10 to 15 ads per week to promote your name and your show, in your business name. That also includes the call center. They take your calls and they set the appointments for you. They're on your calendar. And we call everybody back on Monday morning. I have a Sunday show Monday morning, but the show is on the weekend, and that includes coaching from me and free Social Security software. But that's all. See, when you say all in, it sounds like, okay, big deal. There's a
Mhm.
lot. when you say
That's
all
a
in
lot,
on the
thought of
radio
all.
program. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think we've hit on most of the questions that aren't going to be answered with you one-on-one, Dave. Is there anything that you want to add before we close up today? And I'm going to close that poll, by the way. We've got 2
Okay.
people that haven't voted. If you want to vote real quick, you still have a second.
Yeah, I'll finish up this way. Thank you very much for taking time after the Memorial Day weekend because it's a big one. But I'll say if you're not marketing, really you should be right now because it's a prime time to market. And if you don't know Social Security claiming, now if you don't work with the pre-retired or just retired crowd, maybe not a big deal. But if you're working with that crowd, which most of the people in the annuity business, Medicare business, certainly does, yeah. I mean, you really should. And there's 3 easy ways to really learn Social Security. So I'm looking forward to talking with a lot of folks. We had a good number after a holiday. I'm surprised, Steve. So just let's have a great productive uh, week now, and hopefully we'll talk and give you some insight on maybe some of the services that I am with help you with.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I hope everybody had a great weekend and looking forward to a great shortened week here. Thank you all for joining us here at IAMS. You have our number now. It's 800-255-5055. David will give you a call here shortly if you check yes on that poll. And Dave mentioned today, it'll probably be within the next hour or 2. We'll get that appointment set up for you. If anything comes up, you need anything, give us a call here at the office. We appreciate every opportunity to be of assistance to you. We have a bias towards people that are looking to grow their business and looking to help their clients and joining us on webinars and things like that to learn more about how to do that. So whatever we can do to help you all, by all means, give us a call. Have a great finish to your week, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.